my beautiful beings. I hope you're well today and bringing all the positive vibes and positive energy. Today, I thought let's talk about personal growth. And I've been doing a lot of work on what personal growth is, how to structure, for example, personal growth. Because a lot of us, we're told, it's that lifelong process of self improvement. In your life where you change your mindset, your emotional intelligence, your skills, your behavior, and your overall well being. So I was actually thinking, like, sometimes you like, I want to do some personal growth, but you just don't know where to start. You don't know what to do. What does it involve? How do I how do I structure growth for myself? And which also actually reminds me of an idea actually I was working on the other day. Um, I think there's for me. I just want to cover 5 key areas of what personal growth is. I think the first one for me actually is self awareness, where you understand your strengths, your weaknesses, your emotions, where you understand your thought patterns, where you understand where you are. If something happens, how do you deal with that according, to your emotions? How do you react to certain things? What are your thought patterns? Do you always think a certain way? Do you always think, oh, I don't have money, which actually becomes a belief system if you think about it, ultimately. Um, and then the second thing I want to talk about with personal growth is your mindset development, shifting that mindset, to a growth mindset, embracing the challenges that you have. Like, for example, right now for me, I don't have, I guess I did say I want to make that video. Financially, I don't have that much that I used to have when I was working. So I started the channel and I started doing some stuff because now I'm on this growth, the spiritual growth or the spiritual journey, sorry, that I'm currently on, And so I had to leave everything behind, my identity and everything. And with that, I had to shift my mind, And instead of seeing or saying to myself, what, I'm broke, I don't have the resources to start it, I then had to embrace the challenges and go think to myself, okay, you know what? What can I do? I got a microphone, doesn't work well, but I thought, this is what I have. This is what I can do. So I'll start with this. I'll start with what I have. I'll start with my voice. I'll start with doing the free things. And there's so many tools out there that actually help me in the process because I had changed my mindset from that mindset of, oh, the lack mentality that I always used to have. I don't have this, therefore I can't do this, to the as I said, we have this word in my language called khareza. I'll make it. I will do it. I will find a way. I will always find a way to get, not to get what I want, but to do the things I have to do and do the things I want to do. So when you change your mindset like that, to see the challenges as opportunities, to see that, okay, I don't have a microphone, but I got a phone and I got a smartphone, so I can always use my smartphone. And smartphones these days are very, very good. I like that about smartphones. So the third thing I actually want to talk about with personal growth is skills enhancement. Learn new things, learn new abilities that will enhance not only your professional life. For example, we have a tendency to only do things that will and I did this a lot. I did this a lot when I was studying. I mean, when I was working. So I'd do every course available. I'd do all the degrees that I need to do. And what I didn't do was I did not invest on myself. I did not invest on my personal growth. The emotional intelligence growth. Improving certain things about myself, like self-regulation. Because I used to work so hard, I got burnout. Is know when to stop, know when to set boundaries for certain things, relationship management, like things like, if there's one thing I was good at when I was working, I was very passive aggressive. And it was a coping mechanism for me. After a while, I realized, wait, you do realize you're being aggressive here. And at that time, I thought, no, I'm being hunky dory, no. But I was passive. When you respond to that email, like, yes, I'll do it. But the emotion and the feeling that goes with that email, even though you're saying I'll do it, is so aggressive. And that's when I was like, okay, I really have to, look at the relationships I have with myself. With myself. And why am I being passive aggressive? Because I'm not expressing what I need to express. I'm not saying the things I need to say. Instead, I'm trying to say the right things, and then all that within that, I become passive aggressive. So in the process, then I learned how to, enhance personal skills, like speak up for yourself and structure your thoughts. If you have to write the email, let it sit and then go back, but write the email with better emotion, good emotion. And I'm not saying like, no, don't be angry when you need to be angry. It's just that for me, what I'm talking about myself right now, is that passive aggressiveness was a constant state for me, and that was not healthy for me. So then I had to change the way I do things. I had to change my life and the way I responded to certain things, and also go back and learn about my anger. Why am I always so angry? Do I feel? Why do I always feel like, I want to attack someone? Because I had an issue of always thinking that I'm being attacked. People are not hearing me, people are not listening to me. And that's when I had to do a lot of inner child, what do you call this thing? Sorry, work, to realize that, oh no, this stems from my inner child. It's my inner child that's being passive aggressive. And I'm not distinguishing the two, I'm saying it wasn't me. But I have to heal the inner child within me, because now she comes up when she's in these certain situations. Going now to number 4. It is adaptability and resilience. Oh, there's one thing I've learned in the past 2 years in my journey, is the ability to be resilient and adapt. Right now, I bought what I had, a microphone that decides to work sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't work. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm actually going to use it. I'm going to use it until I get better and until I get more resources, and I will know I'll get the resources to buy a better one. But so instead of normally where I'd sit and be like, no, I don't know, I can't do it now. And I mean, I've always said, I think in the previous video that or one of the previous videos, that I lose my voice sometimes. So I went then and I got um, one of those AI voices where I take my voice, and then change it, and then it reads the stuff for AI for me. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, but most of the time it has worked for me, and it has worked wonderfully. And so then, instead of sitting back and saying, "Oh, my microphone, I don't have a voice," it's like, okay, now I have a voice. Now I can do 30 minutes. This thing replicates my voice and clones my voice. Thank goodness. And then I can do the things I need to do. Then I can put the content that I write, the content that I get, the content that I see, the connections that I put out, like I have with the content, then I put it out there. So that's the other thing that I really, really, really learned in this journey. It's just adapt. And wherever you're at, just work with what you have until you get what you want. And I think my kids always have that say. Their teacher used to say, "We get what we." Forget it. I'm not going to say it right, but one day I'll say it properly. I want to ask them again. And then I think the last thing for me about personal growth is prioritizing our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. We set goals for to achieve certain things. Like we set goals to achieve. Top 10 or top 5 would be the best of everything. But then sometimes what we do is that we don't take care of ourselves, we don't take care of our emotions, we don't take care of our mental situation, that then it comes at a cost. And I'm saying this from personal experience, it comes at a cost. I do have the most fantastic degree, I've got a PhD, but it came at a cost. I did it in 3 years, I think. Came at a cost. I got burned out. And when you have burnout, I can't even think straight. Like thinking, I used to think a lot and analyze. I can't even think straight. I can't even do certain things. So we always need to take care of our mental and emotional well-being, and our physical, actually, because when there was a time I went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, "You are so sick that I think part of my kidney doesn't work." And stage 2, I think. Stage 2, yeah. And that was due to the stress I had when I was doing my PhD. So I look back, I love what I had. And I mean, I think some of those, the things I learned during that process, I'm going to use them for, for our journey right here, our personal journey, sorry. And actually, which brings me back to what is called actually the research onion. I love it. And I thought to myself, we can actually use Research Onion for personal growth, but I'll touch on that a little bit later. So for me, those are the 5 things actually that are very important for us to grow, and in a personal growth journey, is that self-awareness, emotional intelligence, mindset development, resilience and adaptability, um, skills enhancement, and wellness and balance. I think I mentioned six, but it was actually five. Um, those things are actually, for me, they're so important. I've seen them in my journey. I've seen them, how I've used them in my journey. So when you say I want to do, like, personal growth, these are the things you look at and make sure, okay, am I dealing with any of these things? Am I on the right track with any of these things? And most importantly, I think the most important for me is prioritize your mental and emotional well-being and physical well-being, because there is no point in trying to grow yourself if you are not prioritizing. And it all goes back to the emotions. Make sure your emotions are right. Make sure your thought patterns are right. Make sure your mindset is the right mindset. And if you do all of this holistically, then you got a big and beautiful way of how to grow and your personal growth. And going back to the research onion that I actually learned while I was studying, I really, 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 really love what it has. So the research onion is actually a model that was developed by Saunders, and I forgot the other guys because I only see it as Saunders et al. It's a framework that is used in research. So the research onion starts with like philosophy, that like what philosophy are we going to use, and then it takes you through the different steps of research until you get to the point of the techniques you're going to use to do data analysis, the techniques that you're going to use to do data collection, and how long you're going to do this data collection. And for me, I was like, oh, actually, you can apply this on a personal growth. You can apply this so that you have a structured way to do things, and to set a goal and go for that goal. And you know that, okay, these are the questions that I'm going to actually ask myself on the self-improvement journey, from the outer layer. So the outer layer normally is like your philosophical perspective, which if you look at it from a personal growth point of view, it's your core beliefs and your mindset. So what are my core beliefs, about personal growth? How do my experiences shape the way I view change and self-improvement? So those are the type of questions then you will start with when you start on your personal growth journey. And because we all know personal growth is an ongoing process, so you would take the steps, on your own pace, in your own time, and you go through this. And for example, you'll ask yourself, you'll say, I believe that learning never stops, and every challenge is an opportunity to grow, which is what I said, in the top five, that you know see every opportunity as a way to grow. So if you take now what personal growth is and you put it in the research onion, you're like, okay, these are my belief systems, and you actually go deeper. What I like about it, actually, you know what? Let me take these questions and put them in a document, and then you guys can just download it. I'll put the link in the bottom so that then at least the kind of questions that are sitting in this research onion for personal growth, that I thought to myself, you know what, actually, why don't we ask and why don't we use available structures for us to grow as human beings? Why don't we use what already exists? Because for me, I'm like, most things are done already. Why don't we pull from, I always say this, why don't we pull from the divine masculine things, like like research, logic, and analytical thinking, and pull there into the divine feminine energy, where we learn our intuition, where I know intuition guides us. So how then do, for example, does the way I change in self-improvement, I am guided by my intuition, and we link those together and not see them as two different um, um, thoughts, ways of thinking, but one single divine way of thinking and processing and emotional processing and intuition, and let everything flow, because that's when you get true harmony. Actually, it's not looking one over the other, thinking the other one is better than the other, but having everything working congruently to shape our lives and shape the things we want to do in life. So in that onion, I'm gonna touch on one or two other parts. So I will download this. I will actually put the link on where you can download the research onion and the questions that are actually sitting in that research onion. And you can use this for yourself. You can start with the outer layer, you can start with the inner layer. So you can use this in any way you want it and you see it best for yourself. Because that, whichever part of the journey you are, I can assure you that this research onion will help you, Um, call it a research onion, because that's already like a trademark word name for it. So, but for now, for the purpose of this conversation, we'll call it the research onion. So the next one is like when you look at the research approach, and here for personal growth is how can I learn? How can I grow? Do I learn better when through structured study books, like books and courses, which is what I used to do and what I used to have, or through experiences and trial and error, which I'm kind of sort of in that era right now where, oh my goodness, things are going to break down. Oh my goodness. Oh, this isn't working. This is working. So I'm kind of sort of there. And for a structured person like me, whoo, it's trying. It's very trying. But anyway, I digress. You know, some of the questions, another question that's asked is like, how do I reflect on past experiences to guide my growth? The things that we used to do before, when you look at them, when you look back at them now, how are those things, helping you and impacting you, your personal growth, experience right now. And the nice thing about this thing is that sometimes, we're told to journal, and then when we journal, we don't know what to write, so we end up writing about the day, or we end up writing about the same thought pattern. So what is that I think would be nice about this is that it's a journal prompt. A journal prompt that, okay, for example, let's go to this, like, how do I reflect on past experiences to guide my growth? So if something happened and it's in the past, then you can sit, and reflect and put calm, soothing music. You take a journal, you write about this question, and you go deeper and deeper and deeper, and you ask yourself the why and how, what happened, how did I feel, how does it make me feel, And that's what I love about this, that it prompts you, it gets you to, it's almost like an objective way to to journal or to think about things or to process things, not process things, but to think about things on a healing journey, you know, um, to get, that self improvement so that you don't always write about the same thing. Because I always find myself, I write about the same thing, then I research the thing, then I've got 10 million things that I wrote about that thing. So this is a nice guideline and a nice guidebook, actually, not guidebook, like method to use just to get the prompts on, okay, if I want to journal today, something happened, how would I ask myself a question? You come to this, you tick a box, you're like, okay, um, this is a question I'm going to focus on today, and then you write, and then you write, and then you uncover, and it's free for all writing, and you uncover a lot of things. So that's what I really love about this research onion, actually. So what I'll do is I'll take those questions that I have, these questions that I came up with sitting in that onion, and I'll put them on a nice template. I have to be creative now and use that divine part of my energy, divine feminine part of my energy, I mean, of my life, and then put it so that you guys can download it. It's for free. I'll put the link at the bottom. So thank you very much for being part of this journey and coming with me on this journey. Have a lovely day or evening wherever you are in the world. I'll see you the next time we chat. Take care.